Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Lancer Container Lines Limited Q1 FY24 earnings conference call hosted by Monarch Networth Capital. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Priyadarshi Srivastava from Monarch Networth Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Monarch Networth Capital and Lancer Container Lines, I welcome you all to Q1 FY24 earnings call of Lancer Container Lines. Today we have with us Mr. Khalid Chitaiwala, Chairman and Managing Director, Lancer Containers, Mr. Praful Jain, Executive Director, Lancer Container, and Mrs. Ranjana Shinde, Chief Financial Officer. Now I hand over the floor to Mr. Chitaiwala for his opening remarks and overview of business. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I am pleased to say that it has been an exceptional, fulfilling year for us, for our company, and we are making significant strides towards achieving this goal. Our successful strategy of gradually increasing container inventory by adding 200 to 300 containers per month based on incremental demand from freight forwarders has enabled us to focus on substantial growth. In line with our expansion strategy, we are continuously increasing our container capacity to boost our capabilities and services offering to the different parts of the world. We are embarking on a strategic partnership with Dubai-based companies to enhance vessel operation services through our wholly owned subsidiary located in Dubai. We are also expanding our base in Dubai by new acquisition of freight forwarding and liner operation companies. Furthermore, we are strengthening our operations by introducing ISO tank container division, providing a convenient solution to the transport with a wide range of liquid cargo in safe and secure manner across different countries. Our primary focus is to acquire containers, expand our services to various countries, and explore different verticals such as port logistics, project cargo, and warehouses. We firmly believe that expanding our container inventory will prove to be a margin accretive in the long term and provide us with a competitive edge. To ensure profitable expansion, we are strategically opening new corridors and conducting market tests before deploying increased capacity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Nipa Harya from Sushil Finance. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to know, in our quarterly results this time, the tax rate is very low at 16.5. What is the reason for that?
Good afternoon. Actually, tax rates are little bit low because of our financial expenses, which includes notional expense that is about 2 CR, on which we are not going to pay any tax. That is excessive interest, which is not taxable item. It's notional expense.
Okay. And my second question is, how many containers we will be adding in the next 2 years? What is the plan?
More than double containers will be added in next upcoming quarters and within 2 years.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhakti Oza from Capital Square Financial Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Myself, Bhakti. I would like to ask how much debt we have on a book, and was it from FCCB, and have we converted into equity?
We have currently we have raised actually of 30 million, out of which 4.5 million we got a request to convert into equity. Remaining is still a debt on our book. That is the case. Total debt is it's approx 60 crores on the book apart from FCCB.
Okay, and what was the quantum?
Quantum? Sorry, come again?
We have converted that into the equity, and what was its quantum?
We have raised $30 million on FCCB, out of which 4.5 million has been converted into equity. Remaining is still there as a debt.
Okay.
Bhakti, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sriram J, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good evening. So you did mention about the Dubai business. So with respect to the new business of vessel operations, sir, would you be able to say when will the operation begin and what kind of business or revenue we are looking from it, please?
Okay. See, basically, we have tied up with another company for owning vessels. Now, we've got two plans for vessel operations. It's going to be like we could charter the vessel, that's number one. The second part is we could use the vessel for our own use because we have the containers. And we can use for the logistics purpose. We would be using it wherever the sector is lucrative for us. We intend using the vessels for the same.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Vaishali Parkar Kumar from Vihan Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. So this quarter, if you see, our revenue has grown by 29%. So what was the reason for that?
See, in the last few quarters, if you can see, the freight rates have come down severely, and this is one of the major reasons for the less revenue in comparison to previous quarters.
Okay, so can you say that our revenue is directly linked with the freight rate index?
Yes.
Okay, so and because of that, it is little difficult to forecast anything in future. It's as it is related with the global freight rate index. It becomes difficult to
See, in terms of revenue, to compare, of course, we are very highly correlated with the freight rate globally. But if you can see my profit margins or EBITDA margins, that has very, very small effect in terms of my margins if you compare. Because even if this revenue come down, I am paying a lesser slot charges to my vessel operators. So my margins are intact and maintained to those levels which was there previously.
Yeah, actually that was my second question. Actually, what happened that this quarter, if you see, gross margin has jumped from 20.8% versus 11.6% last quarter.
Right.
So, and because of which I think that EBITDA margin have increased from 17, increased to 17.1% from last year 9%.
Correct.
So what was the reason for that? Was that only this freight rate was the reason, or is this phenomena is it's one-off, or we can see same kind of margin going ahead? How do you see?
This is a very good question. There are obviously three reasons to that. Majorly, there are three reasons to that. One is that we are increasing our container TEUs, right? So once I have increased number of capacity of my containers, I will negotiate with my slot operators on a better level. So my cost of operations come down. So that's how it impact my EBITDA margin. Secondly, I'm also reaching to different countries, different new geographies where I'm expanding my container base and new markets which we are catching up. So that increases my better margins in terms of new reach, new capacity added up, new customers added up. So these are the major two reason in terms of margin growth.
So, if you see since past few years, our EBITDA margins have been, volatile. So, do you think that, it's the nature of business because of which it is like that? Or, as you have said that, now we have added the containers and everything. So, from here onwards, our EBITDA margin should be a little stable or maybe improving from the current level. How do you see it?
This EBITDA margin will improve further by 50 basis points. Reason being, my capacity is going to add up. I am planning to double my capacity within a span of 2 years, and with that, I am in a better negotiation power with the slot operator to buy the slots in advance. So my cost of slots will going to come down, and there should be better margins, improved margins going ahead.
Okay, so I think this 20.8% has become a base for our company, and here onwards we should see this to improve in future.
Yes.
Okay, and so one more, if I can say, right, currently, if I'm not wrong, we have 14,000 containers. So how much containers we are planning to, buy by this year end, and in next 2 years, how many containers we are planning?
We already reached around 14,500 TEUs as on today, roughly 14,500, 600 level. We are planning to cross 20,000 TEUs by the end of the year.
Okay, by end of this FY24.
Correct, right.
Okay. And this 20,000 TEUs, will be there in our standalone or in our subsidiaries?
No, I am talking about the consolidated numbers.
Pardon me, I missed it.
I am talking about the consolidated numbers in terms of any capacity addition. It should be all subsidiaries and lines are taking along.
Okay, fine. So thank you so much for explanation. If I have any further question, I will come in. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Harshit from Pinnacle Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Basically, just 2-3 questions I had. What is the cost of one container? Because generally you would look at buying these containers on owned basis or on lease basis?
Because container costs have come down drastically. You must be knowing that the freight rates have come down. Your container prices have come down.
Correct.
If you buy a container, brand new container, it would cost you approximately, in dollar terms, about $2,400 for a 20-foot, and a 40-foot container would cost you about $3,500 in China. Answering your second question, see, basically we are going for own containers rather than on lease model, because lease model, if you see, if you're getting bank finance, it's much cheaper than the lease part. So we are basically going for the own containers only. And a very small portion of lease wherever you want. That's how we are doing it. That's how the model is being followed.
Right, sir. And so what are the plans for the NSE listing? Because earlier it was listed on NSE, the script, and now I think it has been withdrawn. And I hear that there has been some approval which has been received for NSE listing again.
So see, to correct you on this, we are not listed on NSE. It's just a permitted to trade category we are there. And being the nature of whatever the thing which NSE decided, they have taken up this permission from all the companies across. So, but we are now freshly applying for a listing. That's not a permission, that is more a listing, and we are working on that. And we will positively come out with the news once we are listed on the NSE.
All right. And one more thing. So, as compared to last year, 850 crores is turnover which you all had done, FY22-23. which the subsidiaries, basically the international operations, were around 30%, in the range of around 200 crores, if I'm not mistaken. So going forward, this number of the international operations number will increase as a percentage to the overall revenue?
Yeah. So it should be going to increase because we are adding capacity for my Dubai subsidiary, for my Mediterranean region as well as African region. Apart from that, with this new venture into vessel operations, we'll add up more revenues to that segment.
So broadly, what are the kind of revenues which you can get when you operate a vessel? I mean, in just a broad ballpark number?
Let me tell you, just will see today, if you have a vessel, there is something called charter rate. Suppose if I'm giving the vessel on charter, depending upon the capacity of the vessel, at the moment that what we are thinking is it should be about $14,000 per day. That is the rate that you get. $14,000 a day. So if you minus your expenses about $4,000, at least $9,000 a day, that would be the money coming in.
Okay, fair enough. And sir, in terms of guidance, you had mentioned 35 to 40% in one of the notes which was published by the investor relations agency. Around 35 to 40% on the turnover of last year, which is 850 crores. So does that stand, or is there any change in that as per your estimates, given that the freight rates have reduced?
See, it does depend on the freight rate, of course. Yeah, but with the new capacity which we have added and with the new location which we have added, we make our guidance that we are going to surpass this level going forward.
So around 35%, 40% increase over 850 crores of last year.
Yes.
Right. Because the first quarter was only 166 crores. And so we need to do around another 350 crores average over the next each quarter over the next three quarters.
Right, you are right. But with the new containers which are coming in this quarter, we'll be adding more revenues to us. So we will reach to those levels which we have been determined earlier.
Correct, and the margins would obviously be sustained, as you said, 0.5% to 1% increase at gross margin level.
Right. Yes.
Right, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankur Kumar from Alpha Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. I have a question. In terms of what is our capacity utilization right now?
The average utilization, which is considered to be very good, about 60%. We are close to 60%, 58, 59%. So you can say we are using it at the optimal level.
Got it, sir. And sir, question in terms of, as in you are saying that our revenue moves based on the freight rates, but our EBITDA, so can I assume that our EBITDA per TEU, that would be like a constant number that will not move much based on freight rates?
Right, you can say that, but yeah, of course, there's more decrease, more negotiations with the slot operators. I can assume that 50-60 basis point in terms of my EBITDA, I can able to improve further with the capacity which I'm planning to add.
So can you give a rough number, as in what is our general EBITDA per TEU number right now, and how much do we expect it to increase?
No, generally you cannot calculate because this every container is reaching to a different location, right? And this has a different calculations for there. So on an average basis, it's very tough to calculate on what is the EBITDA per container. So generally, how it has been calculated, your total revenue should be divided by your total capacity, and that you calculate an average realization. But that is not a very correct picture if you see on a micro level.
Got it, sir. And sir, one clarification on guidance, as in you are saying 35% growth, but Q1 because of this freight rate has come down, but our margin has shot up very nicely. So can you comment, as in, do we expect like 17% margins to sustain for the full year?
Right. We can able to achieve that.
But aren't like our margins dependent on freight rates, and so that they're kind of tough to predict?
No. See, my margins are depend on my cost of operations as well, right? So I have added new capacity, I have added new containers, and I am booking the slot in advance with the slot operators, asking them that you can quote me a better price. So that's the reason my margins have been improved further.
So this current 17% type you think is sustainable, sir?
Yes.
Got it, sir. And sir, on depreciation, there is a big jump this quarter, but we haven't added much containers in this quarter. So can you comment on that, please?
Depreciation, Rachana, can you comment?
Actually, depreciation we added in last quarter of 23. Last quarter we added most of the containers. So that time containers depreciation was little bit low, but this time we added more containers actually in last quarter and first quarter.
Okay. So ma'am, for this full year, is it like a sustainable run rate of 10 crore per quarter? That will be depreciation?
Yeah. Of course, in consolidation it will be 10 crore.
Okay. And last question is on this. What will be our payback period for this new capacity addition that we're going from 14.5 to 20,000? What will be our payback period for this new capacity addition?
It's approximately 5 years.
5 years. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vijay Chauhan from Right Horizons. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so if you can throw some light on the business model in terms of pricing power, and if you can explain the EBITDA profile, we understand it's a little bit complex, but how do you calculate on the, let's say, on some container going to some location? Because let's say the freight rates continue to stay downwards for, let's say, next couple of years, but can you expect the margin to maintain the same level, maybe 17%, and if the freight rates go up, but the margin will come down, but there is the absolute growth in the EBITDA. So that will help us to understand how the margin is correlated to the top line.
I'm really sorry. There's a lot of disturbance coming from your side. Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah, my question was on the pricing power. What is the pricing power of our business model? That was the first part. And second part was if you can throw some more light on the EBITDA profile side. Even if our top line has gone down, but our EBITDA has gone up. So basically our numerator has gone down, but the actual EBITDA has gone up, so our margin has improved a lot. So if you can throw some more light, even if let's say this freight rate goes up, so will we see the same kind of phenomenon on the downside as well?
Yeah. So coming to your first question in terms of pricing, pricing depends on multiple parameters, like which region these containers are going, what are the commodity which has been there, and what are the other aspects which we can able to add up in terms of these destinations. So pricing, there's a different pricing team who calculate all those pricing mechanism, and then they put a code. If it is a special rate, then they take the approval from the respective management, and then these quotes are offered. So that depend on the demand and supply, your market, your commodity, and other factors into that. Coming to your question in terms of EBITDA margins improving, whereas the revenue has come down. So as I already explained, the reason for this is that because what happens is that suppose I am charging my customer a freight of 100 rupees, whereas I am paying to my slot operator 80 rupees, so I am making only 20 rupees out of that. Now with the increased capacity, I negotiate with my slot operator that, okay, I will pay you not 80 rupees, I will pay you now 70 rupees, right? So my EBITDA margin will increase on this increased capacity by 30%, whereas earlier it was 20%. So whereas this effect has come up into the picture on current situation. So my TUs has increased up by approx 40% in comparison to last year, where we are sitting at 14,000. So my cost of operations, which is slot operation, which is the heaviest cost into my operation, has come down on the same level because we have negotiated on larger slot with the slot operator. I hope I answer your question.
So the current participant seems to have dropped from the queue.
Okay.
We will proceed with the next question, which will be from the line of Padmaja Ambekar from Parmeshwari Advisory. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Which region has higher contribution in our current revenue?
See, we have majorly Middle East, Southeast Asia. These are the major two regions where we have the highest revenue coming over.
Okay. And which region we are planning to add in future?
We are adding Mediterranean region. We have already added North Africa. We are looking for East Africa as well. And some portion of your CIS countries, which are freely available to trade.
Okay. And can you throw some light how they will contribute to our growth?
Sorry, come again?
Can you just let us know how these additions will contribute to our growth?
Right. See, presently the EUs which we are owning right now, right? I am already looking into the present capacity on the present location which we have. Now with this new location which has been added up, I require a new set of inventory to cater to these markets. So there should be new addition in terms of revenue, new vertical coming up, and new vessel operation which we are planning to start. So obviously, I can see my turnover, my revenue will be double-fold or triple-fold from this level going forward.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tony Nawani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry, my line got disconnected. Again, I have to come. How much, sir, can you let us know how much the debt in the books and how much is from FCCB and whether it is converted into equity?
See, this question has come up earlier also. I will be happy to answer it again. We have around 60 crore, which is debt, apart from FCCB. FCCB is around 240 crore. Okay. On this 240 crore, that is equivalent to 30 million as per the conversion rate. And approx 4.5 million is already been converted into equity. Remaining 25.5 is as a loan into the book. Hello?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vaishali Parkar Kumar from Vihan Investments. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity again, sir. Sir, you were talking about that, because this containers which I've added recently, that has given you a power to negotiate with the spot rate. So am I right in understanding that, going forward that we will be in better position to negotiate with the container owners, the fleet operators, and so that we can get a good rate on spot, and because of which that will help us in improving our margin?
Yeah, you rightly said. Yes, we will be in a better position to negotiate further with our vessel operators, because see, what happens is that once I have this capacity, I will tell my slot operators that I will take in the complete vessel or this portion of the vessel on slot. And it will be much more easier for them also, rather than looking into a multiple customers like us to go for a single customer who can pay them upfront on this, right? So it is much more convenient and better for them as well. So they quote us better.
Okay. So when you say that, we negotiate with them, so is there any particular vessel operator we work with, or it depends on the region to region and country to country?
It depends on region to region, country to country, and availability of the vessel, what are the voyages which they are going to do, so destinations also.
Okay, sir. And sir, if I may ask you this, our Dubai subsidiary, the way sir has also talked about that, you are going to own a vessel. So, am I right in understanding that, we are going to be, from container owner, we are going to be a vessel owner, and that will also help us in, growing in future multiple?
Correct. As you rightly said, see, every business, we have to look into the parity of our backward and forward integration. So it's more like a backward integration which we are planning to do. Once we have our own vessel, we already have our containers. Once I have the vessel also, so I can provide the complete services under my hand where I don't have a control of somebody else. I can run these vessels on the destinations which are more profit making with my own container. So it was much more beneficial and much more revenue generating for us going forward.
Okay, so and can you please throw some light that when can we expect this particular division to start operating vessel operations as a vessel operator?
See, we plan to start vessel operation from January. That is the deadline that we kept for ourselves. So from January onwards, you would see that we'll be owning a vessel also, and the operation will start immediately.
Okay, so January 24 we are expecting. So is that a right way to say that we can see some part of revenue in this financial year?
Yes, that is what we envisage. Going forward, let us stick to the plan. We've stuck to all our plans. This time also we'll be sticking to it strictly. By January, we should be owning a vessel.
Perfect. And I think if I'm not wrong, if that happens and if it starts operating, then our EBITDA margins can be in the different horizon itself.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thank you so much. That was from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yatin Kapoor, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity. I guess my question is partially answered, but just to confirm once again, so we can see in operating efficiency as of now because of increase in containers. So do we expect this to going forward increase further?
Yes. See, there are 2-3 reasons. One, I already explained about the slot cost of servicing that. Our cost has been reduced by the number of inventory. Second thing, for the new geography, which is a niche market over there, and we have better margins in comparison. So that's where the margin is going to improve. Third, our economy of scale in terms of doing this business. And fourth, as Mr. Chataiwala already explained about this vessel operation, which is much more revenue generating in terms of present business which we are doing. So that is also an advantage going forward.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Lakshmi Charwadi from Capital Square Financial Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My question is recently asked, but my question is which region you are planning to add in future and how they will contribute to your growth?
We are planning to look into China as well as your Far East nations and UK, United Kingdom, United States also. So this will be strategically designed looking to what are the demand and supply over there and what is the operating cost coming out of that. So we will gradually adding these locations to our kitty.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have no further questions. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Yes, I just want to thank, first of all, Monaj for conducting and Chorus for arranging this call. It will be really beneficial for us also to speak to the stakeholders to understand what is their queries and to answer them and prepare us for our next level. Thank you so much for arranging this.
Thank you. On behalf of sir, we do have one last question in queue. Would you like to take that, sir?
Please.
We'll take the question from the line of Vijay Chauhan from Right Horizons. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity again. So my question was again on the same line to understand how our margin profile works. So normally, what I'm trying to particularly understand is, let's say our freight rate is 100 rupees today, and our cost of operations, let's say the cost of say raw materials or something is around 80 rupees. So we are making 20 rupees spread, and let's say tomorrow if the freight rate starts up to let's say 200 rupees, and our let's say the cost of servicing is there around 180 rupees. So I'm trying to understand on 100 rupees days I will make 20% gross margin, or is it the relative kind of stuff, or on the 200 rupees, I will make again 20 rupees, which will be the 10% gross margin kind of thing. So which typically happens with the chemical companies which are doing contract manufacturing. So I'm trying to understand whether we are absolute margin business where we are charging some X rupees per ton or X rupees per container, or we are relative margin business, which is a percentage of the total, the freight cost. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to explain it in a very simple way. It is basically the slot. The slots are being taken by the vessel operator, and we are charging freight to the exporters or the clearing agents. So if you see the slot, if you're talking about the vessel operator is taking $100, for example, as per your calculation, we would be charging about $120 or something, or $110 or $100, taking into consideration all the other charges plus. So when this slot, the vessel operator increases his charges, naturally we will also be increasing in the same proportion, but you cannot have it like about 100% margin or 50%. The margins are going to be approximately 20%, 25%. But at times what happens is, if there is a scarcity of containers for some location, at that time your margin might go up to 35% or 40%. So it goes on like this. But if you see the margins keep remaining at about 15, 20, 25%, it is there.
That's quite helpful. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a few more participants who have joined the question queue. We'll take the next question from the line of Dhaval Shah from Way to Wealth. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks to Mr. Chataiwala and the entire management team for giving the fantastic Q1 result in terms of the EBITDA margin. As clarified by the management, we are very pleased to see that the management is quite confident of 17% EBITDA for the full year, or maybe plus something. I have only one question. What's the STCD conversion price, and what's the expectation of the management when when the 100% gets converted? The promoter stake will come down to what level?
FCCB conversion price is pre-split was 250. After split it become 125. Presently 4.5 million is converted, but we don't know about the request from the bondholder. If they are interested to, because it's on the choice of the bondholder. If they are interested to, they will put us a request, and we will timely update onto the exchange platform to our stakeholders that this request has come. So I am not in a right position right now to comment on what portion will be converted and what portion will remain.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mayur Damani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening, and I have few questions related to this strategic move. We have mentioned in our press release that we are strengthening our operations by introducing one ISO tank container division. So can you please throw some light on how this will help us increasing our revenue visibility?
Like we had announced, we are forming a new entity, a new subsidiary for handling tank containers. Now, we've been doing the handling of logistics of dry containers, and now we would like to get into liquid, transportation of liquid cargo. So we are forming a new vertical by which it's going to be a very separate section taken care by a separate individual who will be looking after the tank containers. So naturally, we will be buying tank containers, and once we buy and deploy these tank containers, there will be an increase in revenues, and the consequent profits should be added to the company.
Okay. Yeah. And my next question is, you have mentioned that there was a contraction of 10% in exports for the Indian market and for the Q1 FY24. So if this normalizes or improves during the course of this last 3 quarters, can we even increase our EBITDA margin guidance of 100%, or we have discounted that and given the margin guidance?
I would say something at the moment is the 10% the contraction of exports. But what is happening is our containers are keeping on moving. Some containers, because we are not looking after Indian locations only. Because these containers, for example, if they're going to Dubai, from Dubai they might be going to Malaysia, So we are not India-centric at the moment. It can go from Malaysia, it might go to China also. So the containers keep moving in all the locations that we have agents out here. So it's not like India. Suppose if India is 10% contraction exports, we might be doing exports from China. So wherever there is cargo, we move the boxes, the containers there, so that we can get more revenues and more profitability.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankur Kumar from Alpha Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the follow-up. So first question is our current ROE, ROC profile is very good. But in the earlier comment, you were saying that there is a 5-year payback period for the new capex. So that will hurt our current ROE, ROC, or how should we think about that?
No, it's going to hurt anything, anywhere, something of that side. We've given you a very, very simple package. If you go straight, in the straight line method, that the amount of money that we are generating, on a simple basis, it will take us 5 years. But if you have certain, like as I said, if you get some good freight rates, freight levels, so you can get more money out of it. Apart from that, detention is also one of the factors in which the container is not being cleared by the exporter or importer, and you get a good sizable amount of revenue. So your containers, the payback time can be about 2 years, it can be 1 year also, depending upon how lucky you are on the detention front.
Got it. And sir, any dividend plan, as in we have not been giving for dividend for last few years?
Yeah, last few years, actually, we've given dividend once. But actually what we are doing is we are putting the money back into the company. So if you see, the bonus has been declared. So you could see it as a dividend, you could see it as a form of dividend or something.
Got it. And sir, one last clarification on growth guidance. You are saying 35 to 40% growth for this year, but since our revenue is so much dependent on freight rates, global freight rates, and which is very difficult to predict, how confident are we on that guidance number?
See, what we are doing is we are increasing, let me tell you, we are increasing the capacity of containers. Now, the containers, suppose if you have 14,000 containers, and if I make it 20,000, 22,000 by the year end, you will be finding that compensating. It will be compensated out there. And if you see the capacity of JNPT, it's about, you can say on a monthly basis, they're doing about 500,000 containers in a month. So there is no dearth of scaling up our containers.
Got it, sir. And sir, on this container addition, do we already have existing clients who will take these containers, or we will have to start searching once we add the capacity?
See, let me tell you, we have a capacity of 14,000, which is very, very minuscule compared to the market. For example, we've got 14 offices in India. And apart from that, I'll tell you, as I told you, is in JNPT port itself, in a month, they're doing about 5 lakh containers which are being exported and imported out here. And we've got only 14,000 containers which are distributed amongst 14 offices in India only, and we've got 40 agents. So if you see the amount of exports that we do in JNPT itself is about 500 containers in comparison to the capacity of 500,000. So you can make out how much we can scale up. And there is no problem about getting parties out here or getting exports or imports.
Got it, sir. And sir, in terms of bigger players, who are the bigger players in our industry and how are they doing?
The bigger players, I'll tell you, the main lines are the bigger players like Maersk, MSC. These are the biggest players who have the vessel as well as the containers. They've got millions of containers. So those are the big timers like the Maersk, the Pills, the MSCs. Those are big timers who've got millions of containers. You have small timers of about 500 containers or 1,000 containers, 2,000, 3,000. I think we are way ahead of these guys, and the way we are expanding, I think we should. I think we've got plans to become number one in India as far as the capacity is concerned.
Sure, great to know, sir. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Vaishali Parker Kumar from Vihan Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and sorry to bother you again and again. I wanted to understand what will be the capex for this adding containers, 6,000 containers, as well as owning this vessel.
See, basically, I'll tell you, I told you the cost of a container, brand new container would be about $2,500. A second-hand container would cost you about $1,200. So calculating that, if you take about, that comes to approximately about capex about 50 crores.
Okay. And for owning the container, owning the vessel, sorry?
Owning a vessel would cost you approximately about 60 crore rupees.
Okay. And have we planned for this capex or?
Capex, the bankers have already sanctioned the loan. We are sitting on the loan. That is number one. Number two is the loan part, the FCCB, that containers are being added from there also. So if you see, there will be a pool of containers which are going to be coming. So thinking of that is the reason we've given you this number.
Okay, perfect. So I think, in FY24 itself, this whole capex you will be doing for this, adding the container as well as owning the vessel.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. So we do not have any further questions. Would you like to add closing comments, sir?
No, I would like to say that we are on the path of growth. Company is going very aggressive. It's got big plans, and as I said, that in the container section in India, we would like to be the topmost. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Monarch Networth Capital, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your line.